G'day guys, Josh here. Welcome to Yogg Saron, which I'm going to say is probably one of the most complex encounters of this area, okay? It goes 3 phases, and, well, all the phases have their own little things in itself. So basically there's Sara, which, if it's not obvious enough, that's Yogg Saron. So Sara will buff you with things randomly during the encounter. There's no real timer for it, which is basically is a blessing when you get healed and you get a dot on you. You also basically get increased damage, but you take more damage, and then basically you get damage, but you can increase other damage during the fight. Now, during the fight as well, is that there'll be guardians of Yogg Saron that will spawn throughout the encounter. They respawn quickly and quicker during the encounter as well. By the way, with Sara, you don't want to walk in the... I think it's if you walk over this line, I'm not terribly too sure. It's one of these lines in the room, if you walk over it, you can automatically start the encounter. Ignore what I'm doing at the moment, given the fact that, I'm on live, so it's a lot easier for me to do this. Let's go in. But anyway, so what you got to do right away is that be aware with Dark Volley. Basically, guardians of Yogg Saron will spawn, and you'll start the encounter. Now, if you are feeling very confident enough and your tank can take it, you can actually start putting up early clouds in. You can walk in clouds to get, more guardians onto the boss. So pretty much there are clouds here as well. If you step into a cloud, you'll trigger another guardian like this. And basically what you want to do is you want to take the guardians on Sara. So when the guardians die, they'll cast a Shadow Nova and they'll DPS Sara essentially over time. Now, pretty much you don't want to be caught in this. So when the bosses are about when the ad's about 5 or 6%, you basically run away. And as you can see here, Sara's getting damage from the ads. Now, you obviously need more than 2 ads to damage her. So make sure that you are, make sure that you have, I think it's like 6 or 7 ads. Make sure the ads die on her 100%. Now, this is Yogg Saron. So Yogg Saron has multiple abilities as well. So there's their Corruptor Tentacles as well. Let's get to phase 2. So there are multiple different tentacles that come out. And there's also Portal Room as well. These portals don't come up right away. And there's also Malady as well. And also there's all the Sanity Burst mechanics as well. So you can see here there's the Unleashed Power. So basically, let's go through everything in the room. So there's random debuffs being casted. There's Constrictor Totems that randomly will grab a person, which you can actually bop them out of and free them of. There's also another thing, I think it's a Corruptor Tentacle that casts random debuffs on you. You just have to dispel them. You don't require to kill them basically as well. There's also a Zapping Beam, which gets rid of Sanity normally. And pretty much what you want to do is you want to have an upstairs team, which is basically ranged. And you want to have a downstairs team, which is mostly melee. Okay. So basically, the upstairs team will be killing all the Crusher Tentacles. You do want to kill, just FYI with the Crusher Tentacles, you do want to kill the Crusher Tentacles as soon as possible. They should be your first DPS target after Constrictor Totems. The Crusher Totem, when channeling Diminishing Power, makes you do 20% less damage, and it makes the encounter a lot more difficult. Now, overall, there will be keepers here if you want to do it on easy mode. So basically what happens that on easy mode, Mimiron stops the Crusher Totems from casting Diminished Power. Takes them 8 seconds to cast it, so you can put some big DPS into them during that time. So here would be Freya. Freya puts Sanity Wells on the edge of the room to recover your sanity. Basically, if you go 0% sanity, you go insane. Then you got Hodir, that if you die, you'll be flash frozen instead. And Hodir can only do this, I think it's once every 3 minutes, something like that. And last but not least, you've got Forum. And Forum's mainly for the last phase where he will automatically kill an ad. Now, let's just go through all of this quickly as well, as you can see here. So Crusher, you also got Crush as well, which will hit anyone in front of the Crusher, so don't stand in front of the tank. And basically, it's got Focus Anger, where it deals more damage over time and attacks quicker. Corruptor Tokens, you can see here, it casts a lot of different debuffs. You want to dispel Apathy, Curse of Doom effect, just dispel all of them in general. And then you got the Constrictor Totem, which just squeezes, and I believe you can bop to get him out of it as well. Now, basically, you need to go down here into the portal room, which we'll show you guys very, very shortly. So go into the portal room. Well, as long as I don't get Malady non-stop, we'll go into the portal room. Also, make sure you get all of the spells happening before they go into the room. So, as you can see, this is the Chamber of Aspects. You want to be see these skulls here. You want to be facing away from these skulls while doing all of this. So, everything in this room is something you want to kill, basically. Okay, so it turns into a tentacle and it dies. So basically what you want to do in this room is you want to hop around as a melee quickly as you can, but always face away from the boss, face away from the ads. So you can see here I've been hit by a few of them. Make sure you know where all the skulls are in the room. So you got a skull here, you got a skull at the start of the room, and pretty much what you want to be doing is just facing away while leaping around, killing everything. Now you can bring a few range in here, but it's not recommended as melee tend to do a really, really good job on this. Just make sure you're always facing away from the skull. It's okay to get zapped once or twice by the skull, but towards the end of the fight, you don't want to be, you don't want to be fully insane and MC'd, and basically it's going to be a wipe. Now, as you can see here that I died, it's because you have a limited time to complete that room. You have about, I think it's about 30 or 60 seconds to complete that room. Otherwise, his charm spell will be cast, and you basically become charmed. So pretty much when the portal's open, you've got 60, sorry, not 30 seconds, you've got 60 seconds to clear the room and stun him and DPS him. And it's the only way you can DPS Yogg Saron during this fight. Now, since I've explained all that, we'll just go in and do the fight quickly. Hard mode is basically doing without any watches, which is what I did just then. So basically no forum, no anything else at all. And that's pretty much it. And that's how generally the fight goes. Now, don't tell me it's bugged or it's not respawning. But, it doesn't really matter. Let's go off to the next phase. So next phase is the true phase of death. So basically, sanity is still an issue during this phase. And what you need to do during this phase as well, that he will do Lunatic Gaze, which you need to turn away from. Okay, so basically, if you're a caster, you just basically cast a channeling spell and turn away from him. He also does a shadow beacon, which empowers one of the ads, and one of the ads will start healing any ads near him. So generally, through the can spawn an Immortal Guardian, and the Immortal Guardian will be powered depending on its HP. So if it's at 100 HP, it'll do more damage. If it's at 0% HP, it won't do much damage at all. So what's going to happen with the two tanks at this phase? You have one tank tanking the shadow thing. Yogg Saron can't be tanked at this phase, so you can have your second tank out there helping out with the immortals. And pretty much what you want to do is you want to have one tank taking all the immortals, a block tank preferably, because of the block is very, very good against the ads when they're lower HP. And you want to have another tank which will only taunt the shadow beacon ad. So essentially what you do is that other tank takes the shadow beacon ad, takes it away, and then when it loses shadow beacon, the other tank taunts it back after lowering its HP. You do also want to keep some melee on those ads as well to keep the ads HP low. This is mainly for 0 lights. If you're doing 1 lights or above, you want to keep 4 down purely to get rid of the ads. Basically, Mimiron, Hodia, and Freya are particularly useless when you manage to fight because you lose very minimal sanity, you won't die during the encounter, and last but not least, you don't need a slow on cast on Mimiron. Okay, you don't need a slow on cast at all on the Crushers because you'll be killing the Crushers in good time. Now, the other thing as well, what the Guard Keepers do as well, is that they increase your DPS by 10%. So be aware that every Guardian that you chuck down, you are losing 10% of your DPS, as well as the special ability that they give, which I'm going to show you like now, basically, as well. Also, when you have 0 lights or 1 lights, he will do a silence for 4 seconds called Deafening Roar. So be aware of that as well. Now, the Keepers of Ultra, as you can see here, they can give you 20% and 10%, 20% extra healing. Fortitude of Frost, you can see here, it reduces damage. You can see here speed of invention and movement speed as well. Just be aware of the stuff that they grant you, okay? That they do grant you extra little buffs. And make sure apathy is dispelled off all people when going in here. So basically, there is a brain room behind you, and you can see, Yogg Saron's cast. So pretty much, if you don't complete the room in this time, essentially you die, and you got to pay attention to Yogg Saron's cast. You can see here, he's already halfway through his cast when getting into the room. Now, as you can see here, I've lost a bit of sanity from looking at the skulls. So pretty much what you want to do is just make sure you look away from the skulls. There are going to be diagrams they're going to put in to make this a bit easier for you guys, so you can see where the skulls are and when you need to avoid them, basically. So after you've killed them, you can go to the central room. So you got to remember where the central room is and DPS Yogg Saron. Now you can see here that I have no idea where the central room is because I don't do this because I'm usually a healer, so I'm outside. And you can see here, basically you get to Yogg Saron's room. Yogg Saron is still casting Induced Madness, and then basically you need to get out of it as well, as quickly as you can. Now, also as well, if you don't get out of it when a cast is done, you'll pop out up here, MC'd, and you'll die, basically, as well. So, be aware of that. Or you get MC'd, and yeah, you pretty much either your raid kills you, or Yogg Saron kills you at the end of the day. Now, last but not least with Yogg Saron as well, is that in Phase 3, unfortunately, he's dead here because I one-shot him. So, that's pretty unfortunate. But with Phase 3, what you want to do as well, if you're a paladin here, be aware that Judgment can be cast while facing away. So you can just permanently look away from the boss. Same with healers in general. You can look away from the boss all the time. Warlocks, what you can do with Drained Souls, you can start channeling and then look away and swerve away like this. You can even keyboard turn or whatever it is away, and you'll be relatively safe from the gaze. With the Deafening Roar in consideration, healers make sure all the tanks are topped up, just in case a deafening roar occurs. I do not believe deafening roar is on any sort of timer. But that's pretty much how the fight occurs. With the 2 rooms in the portal room, there is the Aspects, there is Lordaeron, and I believe there's another one as well. There are 3 rooms that you need to just basically go through. And at the end of the day, there'll be diagrams in the description below for you to go through to make it a lot easier for you, so you know where all the skulls are and you know how to quickly do the room. Sometimes it's better to split the teams into 2 so they can clear the room quicker and you get more DPS in the brain. Ideally, you want to get Yogg Saron to 30% through 2 brain phases. So pretty much you want to be hitting 60% on the first and 30% on the second. 30% you get kicked out of the brain automatically to go into the 3rd phase. Anyways, that's it for Yogg Saron. Hope you guys enjoyed the guide and hope to see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.